3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to America.
Yes. Or in theoretically other parts of the world as well.
True.
We are going to be reviewing our top 10 U.S. movies that we've seen.
Yes, of 2024.
Of 2023.
Or 2023.
Oh,
what am I saying? I'm already in. We're in 2024.
So guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
We should just get rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll cover
I
a
think
couple
so.
other
This will be-
spicy
this will be
categories as well.
Yeah, we'll do
Yes.
worst movie, which we'll do that first.
Let's do
Favorite
that.
TV
What's
show
your
and
worst
most
movie?
anticipated film.
What's your worst movie?
So, oh boy, this will be.
It's your turn to
This will
start.
be wild. Oh, why do
I
the
started
pressure's
last
on.
time.
So
Yes, let's go reverse
Worst-
order this time.
Ben just gets
movie
out.
of 2023 has to be The Marvels.
Okay,
baby.
okay.
So we
Fair
saw
enough.
that one, in theaters, and yeah, I can't even talk about this movie. So
pretty
bad.
the villain in this movie was so shallow. There was no depth for at
Right.
all.
Right.
And then there was like just the comedy was really in some parts didn't hit at all.
Mhm.
Like there were certain scenes that were just weird and they were trying to be really funny, but it was just like, okay, you guys are trying too hard. The one thing I did like about the movie was the girl, what's her name? Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel. She was fun. Like her acting was great. But like with Captain Marvel and stuff, Brie Larson, like I don't know, she seemed really like her acting seemed really stale in this movie.
Oh.
I know, and she's really good in other movies.
Yeah,
Like
Brie
she's been in a
Larson's
lot
is
of good
yeah,
films,
some great
but like
early movies.
I don't know, it's like just in her Marvel films, I don't know, her acting.
Phones
she
it in,
can't
do
really
we say?
well, she can't really show her acting skills because
Right.
it's like, oh, you got this script,
Yeah.
and now it's
Right.
just it's a Marvel film, and like I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was pretty terrible all around. Like
Really?
story wise, very
see.
bad. Like
Yeah?
it.
Okay.
I was just like, what is going on?
Is that your worst one?
Yes.
Oh,
The
really?
stump just come out
Okay,
and say
well,
yes.
we don't.
It
Then
was,
we don't. have to
it was
talk
kind
about
of
too
close
much.
between that one and Indiana Jones.
Oof.
Indiana Jones
Oof.
was somewhat entertaining.
Oof. Yeah.
I can't really say the same about the Marvels. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yep.
Pretty terrible.
All right, my
Okay.
worst movie I've seen almost in my life.
Oh! Oh!
I'm not kidding.
Whoa!
What?
All right, is it a Hallmark movie?
Us watching this movie
What?
made Sadie rate another movie higher because we had
Oh.
watched a previous movie. I'll just say the movie we watched. We watched The Killer with Michael
Okay.
Fassbender.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like a couple days later we watched this movie, and she was like, you know what? The Killer is way better than I gave.
Good. I remember
Wow.
we got out of the
It
theater.
rescaled her
Yeah.
Yes.
to that. She was
Recalibrated.
like,
Yeah.
that was a good movie. Like it did. It like got her out of it
That's-
because I was like, you're crazy. That was a great
Yeah,
movie.
Killer
She's
is
like,
good.
no, because this, and then after that,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, and then
What
was that movie?
Okay,
It
I'm
was
anxious.
Freelance. Oh,
Freelance. What is that?
that is
Oh,
a
I
movie,
remember
Ben.
you
I
were
need to
talking
hear
about
John
this.
Cena.
Oh yeah.
John Cena Freelance right here.
Why did you
Oh,
see
that's
this movie?
a C movie.
It was literally, it was a B movie for sure. I mean, it was horrible. Made no sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, guys, if you were to watch this movie, you would rate everything else that you've ever seen a half star.
Give
higher.
it
I'm
every
not
bump
even kidding.
every
That's
single
what
movie.
It will
Recalibrate.
remind you
Yeah.
what were he in for.
Yeah.
Like, not even kidding. It's
Okay.
so bad.
I remember
you
talking
ranting about that.
I
After
forgot
you
about
saw
it.
it. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm never gonna see
Wow.
that movie.
Right.
Fair
So,
enough.
There you go.
That's
There's
awesome.
this movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Half
I
star.
think yours will take the cake
Half
for the worst.
star.
Even Marvel's had
Right.
something.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now Isaac's number 10.
Man,
Bottom of the top, as
This,
they
wow.
say.
So
Here we
this
go
was
right
really
in,
hard
yes.
to put to figure out which should go in the 9 and 10 spots.
Very
Because
hard
I,
here,
for some,
too.
I
Agreed.
thought I had seen enough movies to create like
Same
a
here.
solid
I
top
thought
10.
2023 was.
But 9 and 10 are the ones where I was like, ooh, like these normally wouldn't be in my top 10, but they were just good enough to make it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but
Dang
it was pretty tough. Yeah, it was tough to pick. So my number 10 is, oh man, you guys are gonna laugh at me, but Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Hey, that's not
So
too bad.
I never saw it.
You didn't see it?
No.
It's
What?
fun.
I
That
thought
one's fun.
why did I think you saw it?
That was
Okay.
Sadie saw it.
Okay,
Did you
so
like it?
this one
She loved it.
was
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
a refreshing. It was a surprise because it looked terrible from the
It
trailers.
did.
Yes.
It looked like every other just kind of dumb action film.
Yeah.
But this really was good. It was great because it was the comedic aspects of the film really hit, and it was actually funny. It wasn't like forced laughter. It was like, hey, this is actually, they're actually really funny in this scene. And it was clever. The plot was clever. Villain, of course, wasn't super good, but the comedy really took over, and that's why I really liked it.
Okay.
We saw this. Yeah, we saw this with the roommates. And,
Yep, we all had a fun
We all had
time,
fun, and
which
we were
honestly,
all
yeah.
surprised at how good it actually was. And Chris Pine was hilarious.
He was having a blast.
He was.
in
You
that
could
movie.
tell he was having a blast. There were some really funny scenes. But yeah, overall, a good movie. So that hit my number 10. That was
Okay.
my number
Benny
10.
Boy, number
Yep.
10.
All right, so my number 10 was really hard to decide. I had a couple, and I'll actually just mention those as kind of my honorable mentions piece. But I was back and forth, but I finally decided Dream Scenario was number 10.
Ooh.
Because it was such a unique concept. I didn't necessarily love the movie, but his performance was great. Nicolas Cage's performance was great, and the concept was very interesting. And so if you haven't yet, feel free to look up on IMDb. But it's just such a unique kind of social analysis of reactions and such.
Yeah,
based on what they
of
perceive
cancel culture.
of cancel
and,
culture.
I had a laugh
apology
in there. That was
videos.
wild.
Remember
Yeah.
the
Oh,
apology
yeah.
video?
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Yes.
hilarious.
Very unique take on that. Unique concept, good central performance. It wasn't necessarily extremely funny or anything like that, but it was a unique concept. And honestly, with how movies are today, especially Western movies, I feel like a lot of them fit into the same mold. This one was unique, so even though I didn't give it a super high rating, it'll fit on the list.
All right.
I was between that and the Hunger Games movie, the new one, was pretty good, solid this year. Had an interesting story. I did enjoy that one.
Right.
And then Honor Among Thieves, the Dungeons and Dragons movie was great.
All
and
right.
then Asteroid
Wait,
City
are
too.
these are your honorable mentions?
These are honorable because we skipped honorable mentions.
Well, I didn't.
I
didn't
so there
really have enough
weren't
for
many,
honorable.
but Asteroid City, but Wes
There were
Anderson.
none that were honorable.
It wasn't that great of a movie, but it was
for my number 10, I'll go off of Ben too. Was also waffling between Songbirds. So Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Game movie.
Yeah.
That is my honorable because I didn't do it. But my number 10 is Haunting of Venice.
Ooh, interesting. Yep.
Okay.
So I thought that one was
Yep.
good. I thought it had its flaws, but I thought it was overall a good movie.
Yeah.
So
I
there
suppose
you
we
go.
should
Better
tell
than
what we
the-
rated the movie as well.
I think a 3.5 probably.
I rated mine
that.
a Dream
Mine
Scenario
was,
a 3, so that's kind of
I
interesting.
think I rated
3.5.
Dream Scenario. I think a 3 or a 2.5.
Okay. Interesting. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was good though. But anyways,
That's a good pick. Yeah.
All right.
Isaac, number 9.
Number 9.
Isaac, take us
Okay.
home. Number
Number
9. Show us the
So
way.
guess what mine is? A Haunting in Venice.
Okay.
Oh, number
All right.
9.
All right.
So I really enjoyed this movie. It was really entertaining, and I loved the horror movie aspect, horror mystery movie.
Hercule Poirot.
Yeah, and I thought this was way better than the second one. What was that one called?
It was the desert one.
The desert,
I
the
can't
cruise ship
remember now.
one.
Death on the
with
Nile.
Gal Gadot.
Death on the Nile.
Yeah, Death on the Nile. There we go.
Yeah.
I
That
thought
one
this
was an interesting
way
one
better
during the
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was good all around. I thought it had a pretty solid ending.
Interesting.
It wasn't some of it was predictable. That's why it's my number 9 and not number 5 or 4 or something like that. But I thought it was worth the watch.
I like a whodunit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Like last year was See How They Run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one. That
and
was
a lot of
really
people,
great.
for some reason, a lot of people hated that movie. I still don't
I
know
don't think
why.
hated
The
it. It
ratings,
was solid,
well, the
but-
rating's pretty low
Yeah.
for it on IMDb. But that one was on my top 10 list, and I was like,
Same
the
here,
mystery. I love that murder mystery vibe. So, that's my number 9.
All right, Benny boy.
All right, so my number 9 is the Barbie movie, which is interesting.
What?
I snuck it in barely. Oh, this is gonna.
What
hurt
is
people.
wrong with you?
All right. I didn't like it that as much as you guys.
Isaac looked at me with bug eyes like, what?
Here's the thing. As I was thinking about it after, like,
should I say higher on your list?
So we'll.
I don't know how to say it, but
higher,
it should be.
So this might be a surprise. It was, again, this one I rated 3.5, so pretty solid movie.
What?
I enjoyed it.
I don't understand.
I had fun with it. Super. I had a ton of fun with it.
I thought you
Ben is anti-fun.
loved this movie.
No, I did. I enjoyed it, but then I never.
Your number?
Okay.
1 and 2 and 3.
Too much flack. No, I thought it was really good, but as I thought over it again, I was like, I would see it with my family or see it again, but it didn't. I don't think it'll have the rewatchability factor. Like, I didn't immediately want to see it again.
Sure.
And so that's part of what goes into a rating. The performances were great. I do want to see it again, but then I was also thinking, oh man, some of the messaging is a little bit on the nose. But while also having a great ending, I thought the overall message is fantastic. So, yes, I would say it's in my top 10. It's 3.5 out of 5, but it's on number 9.
Okay. I thought you liked it a lot more than number 9.
I never gave it a high rating. I don't think.
Why not? I thought when we came out of the theater, you were like, "Oh, this is great," but
I enjoyed it.
Maybe I'm imagining.
Even though
I'm imagining.
we're very similar in our viewpoints on a lot of American movies, at least.
Yeah.
I still think we're gonna have wildly different lists.
Yeah,
I guess so. I thought at first we were gonna have like the same.
Now I know, based on that reaction, that Barbie will be higher on your guys'
We'll discuss it later.
We'll discuss.
So my number 9. Let me just make sure my number 9 is John Wick. John Wick 4.
Okay,
it might get. I don't know if it will get talked about later on. It potentially could be. I really liked the movie. I thought it was a good conclusion to what I think was a really fun series. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought the whole John Wick series was great. And I thought that was a good way to end it. It made me sad. You don't want it to end, in that way. But I think that was appropriate.
Suitable.
I thought it was
for a movie that started off kind of as a joke, and they never really thought about moving it anywhere. And then to make a sequel that people loved, and then a third one that people loved. They're like, holy crap.
They kept upping it. Like, I saw, we've seen all the movies, and every movie seemed to get, better and better, at least for me. Because I didn't really like the first one quite as well as the second, third, and fourth. So they kept, building.
I agreed.
It was great.
So I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go.
Sweet. Yeah.
Sweet.
Back to Isaac.
My number 8. Okay, here we
Number
go,
8.
boys. My number 8 is The Killer.
Ooh,
So, I like this film.
Interesting.
It was pretty depressing at times. That's why it's not higher on my list. And the plot of the film was pretty. It was kind of straightforward in a lot of ways.
Yep.
But I love the acting, and the opening sequence itself was 10 out of 10. It was super well done.
Absolutely.
The sound design and the detail of how the different sounds, how he would really focus on certain sounds, and then just the that whole aspect of the film was really interesting. And I thought it was pretty intense overall though. It had that intensity level throughout the film where it was just he's going after this guy, and it's slowly getting more intense throughout the film. And I actually like how it ended. Some people I think didn't like how it ended. But it was kind of more, the movie was kind of more of an analysis of his mental, him mentally going through all this stuff, and just how he kind of broke down over time throughout the movie. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So, so overall, number 8 on mine.
Interesting. Okay.
Benny boy.
So my number 8 was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh!
So that's
really?
There was a bunch of there were a couple Marvel movies. There were a couple
Wow.
Marvel movies out this year.
Interesting.
but they were terrible. This one was actually, again,
you did tell me this that I should watch it.
I thought the
no, I
final.
haven't.
If you've seen the first two, I think this is a really good, very decent ending to the trilogy.
Wow.
And to the characters. You could tell it had a lot of heart in it.
This much.
You could tell it had a lot of... I saw it a couple times, and it was pretty entertaining. Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yep.
Nice.
And so I think it still withstood, like, on the second rewatch. It was still entertaining to me. So I think that holds some water for, again, 3.5 out of 5, so not amazing, but...
That's
I thought it was
year, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not extremely happy. Like, it'll get bounced out once I see. That's another disclaimer. We haven't seen a lot of the Oscar nominees for 2023
Definitely
yet.
a disclaimer.
Because they always come out in January, and it's always
I know.
But we're trying to remedy that. But I'm not super happy about it being on my list. But it was solid, so it's not too bad.
Yep.
But it was a suitable ending, way better than a lot of the other Marvel crap that's come out.
I agree.
And so the characters you love were back, and you could tell that it was made with a lot of heart.
Okay.
So I did enjoy that one. 3.5 out of 5. That was
okay. So then my number, we're on 8, right? My number 8, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Boy and the Heron.
No, we haven't yet.
No.
Okay.
We wanted to.
So this is a Studio Ghibli Miyazaki movie, so technically not American, but I saw it
came
out in
America,
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Robert Pattinson was unbelievable.
Oh, so you watched the dubbed version of... Okay.
For
English
sure.
dub.
Yeah, English
Robert
dub.
Pattinson was unbelievable as
Really?
the Heron.
Wow.
What? He played the Heron? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So when you hear that in like the trailer when it's like, hello, wow, that's Robert Pattinson.
Wow.
What?
Everyone thought it was William. I thought it was William Dafoe because he's in the movie too.
Crazy.
William Dafoe plays like a 2-second character.
Wow.
What?
He like plays like a swan, like for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Insane, right? Like
That
it's
is
so
incredible.
wild. So I thought acting was really cool. It was just a cool story. Ghiblis are always weird, so you got to be kind of ready for that. But it had a really good heart. And another thing about Studio Ghibli movies is that there's not really an antagonist, which is interesting in any of his movies.
Interesting.
It's more of learning to deal with yourself, learning to deal with loss, and kind of a powerful in that way. So I thought it was really good.
Sweet.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, none of
Good pick.
Isaac and I
we
haven't
haven't seen that yet.
So that's
I
their
really wanna see
disclaimer.
that.
So
So this will be interesting.
Boy.
So my number 7 is the Hunger Games. So
Okay.
I
figured-
now and
Can I say
here's my disclaimer.
Well, because you read it.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I read the book. I thought it followed the book pretty well, and I really enjoyed the book, and I really enjoyed the movie, and that's pretty rare where you get that combo because normally the movies do not. There's always something that's way different than the book, and you can't even enjoy it because it's so different. But I thought the movie did the book justice, which is pretty rare, and I like the acting overall. It was really interesting to see how Snow became President Snow.
You're right.
And I thought that was a really, really fascinating character analysis. And it didn't have the vibe of every other Hunger Games movie. It was different.
Yeah.
It started out pretty intense. You know, it did have like the Hunger Games in it. Like they had one of the games, but then after, it's like he goes off and he is in the army basically, or he's a peacekeeper. I thought from that point on too, it was really interesting, and they developed that pretty well. The one thing is though, and the reason it's number 7 is it wasn't as clear the first time watching it, like what was going on in his mind and stuff.
The dialogue.
The dialogue.
It was confusing.
It was pretty confusing. If you hadn't read the book, you would be pretty confused near the end where things start to escalate. And you're like, why? Yeah. Like, wait, hold on. What's happening with the motives of him and like the girl and everything, Lucy Gray? Like, what is happening? But the second time watching it, which we saw this twice, we saw it with our family, and my dad and mom actually. My mom really enjoyed it. I was like surprised.
Wow,
I'm like, she's not gonna like
well,
it, but she liked the character analysis part of it. But the second time watching it, I was able to catch more of the the character nuances and stuff, and his acting is so good.
His acting is really good.
I enjoyed it. I wasn't bored even the second time watching it. And normally with the movie normally with movies it's hard for me to watch it again after
right.
So the rewatchability for me was pretty high for this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
watch out for Tom Blythe. He's going to be
Tom Blythe was
the next big star. He was really
he is like from like only like a show.
Yeah,
it's like,
he was in like he was in. I guess he had a cameo in like that Robin Hood movie.
Dude,
the
like
modern one. That was like
this kid is going places for sure.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Benny Boy, number.
All right, number 7. Okay, so it's already been talked about. I won't elaborate.
We gotta
too
hurry
much.
up.
Yes. The Killer.
Okay.
The Killer.
Yep.
So that was really, I think it's a David Cronenberg directed.
David Fincher.
Oh, Fincher. Yeah. That's right. I mixed the two.
Cronenberg
would have been interesting.
Cronenberg, he would have had like an eye coming out of his head.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been crazy. But Fassbender was a really good performance.
Totally.
Psyche, the psyche of a... So the psyche of a killer. And so it was really, really well done. Pretty depressing, like not too uplifting. That's kind of why we all didn't really... too much, but it was really solid. So 3.5 out of 5 for that one.
Yeah, mine is gonna annoy everybody. My number 7 is
it's Super Mario.
It is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's
I am gonna come over there and slap you.
There's pretty low.
Way. You can't be doing this to me.
That is pretty
I gotta leave. He's leaving.
You gotta have a justifiable explanation of the ones behind it.
How are you gonna justify that?
Oh, that's
you know why?
bad.
What?
You know why?
My brain is exploding.
Speak your piece.
Right?
Yeah.
2 words.
Just don't say anything.
2 words. 2 words. Part 1.
Yeah, I know a couple other people were salty about that too.
Dude, I was not ready for it. I love the movie, but the ending, I was like, what the crap?
All right.
My heart.
All
right. My heart.
But that doesn't make it less of a good movie.
It could.
It's your opinion. All of my here's literally, and this is the truth. This is why this was so hard for me. Every single movie from here on out is a 4 for me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it was really kind of a battle of kind of what I felt.
You have a lot of 4. Man, you must have seen more movies than us this year.
We'll see. We'll see.
More U.S. movies. Because, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have.
So everything was a 4 for me. So it was just kind of riffling through that. And that got short straw.
Okay.
Whew, man. I was not expecting
from that one.
Wow. It was a little
heart
lower than
attack
I
over
expected.
So now with your heart attack, young James.
Oh, yeah, I go next. My number 6.
What if you said Spider-Man? Right? What if you said that?
That would be a twist.
That would be. My number 6 is John Wick, Chapter 4.
Oh!
Okay. So we actually just rewatched this today, Ben and I did.
Wow!
And it was great on rewatching it. It was so entertaining. And I mean, we've talked about it a bunch of times, but the stunts, the camera, the camera views, the cinematography, the top-down view when he's going through that building and shooting people, it felt kind of like a video game.
Again?
The one-shot top-down view, that was incredible, and it just kept getting better as the film progressed.
I think I gotta rewatch this movie.
It's pretty good.
So there's at the beginning there's the fight scenes in that continental place where that was great. There was a really, really good soundtrack during that fight scene, the techno vibe, and then it moved on from there to this kingpin guy he killed at this club. That was so intense, and then it kept just going, and I don't know, it was just really well done. And of course, I mean, the story's pretty basic, but I thought they ended it well. They had a really cool showdown at the end, a shootout at the end. And of course, you can't forget about the staircase scene when he's going up and he's almost to the top and he gets kicked all the way back down. That was just so
funny.
crazy.
That was a comedy.
It was comedy. It was a really clever filmmaking and dialogue and stuff. Or well, no, not dialogue, but storyline.
Yeah,
stuff.
I
should say
for dialogue.
Yeah, Keanu. Oh my gosh, his dialogue.
The script is simplified for Keanu, which is so funny.
They went from, instead of focusing on script, they focused focused on like stunts and action sequences,
which is their bread
because
and butter.
literally Keanu says like yeah, and like that's like one of the main lines he says in the movie. He's like yeah.
That's rough. That's rough. That's
but
tough.
so it's entertaining, and that's why it's so high on my list.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay, so my number 6 was Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Man, Ben is surprising me today.
What?
I did say I said at the beginning, this will just nothing will do this.
So I was thinking, this is another thing. So I was not happy with this movie.
Yeah, when you walked out, I thought
I thought it was, but then as I was thinking, I'm like, wow, the other movies, like I was more entertained at this one than, and again, how entertaining movies should be is subjective.
Yep.
But I didn't necessarily like, it wasn't the best script, et cetera, but it was pretty entertaining. See it on the Eiffel Tower screen, we call it, at one of our local theaters. And it was a Mission Impossible movie. Always love Tom Cruise. Always there in the seats. It's another 3.5 out of 5, but these 3.5 out of 5s are really interchangeable, so it could have easily been number 9 instead. But I popped it in the 6th level just because.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's really, there's like two groups of movies where it's like the 3.5s and the 4s, and I think they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But then you have to make it a 10. So that's kind of the situation.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not happy with it, but.
My number 6 is The Killer.
Oh, I like it. I like
it. All right, solid.
Yeah, I did notice you enjoyed it a little more than we did.
Yeah, I was thinking that should be the,
Yep. And Sadie did not. She
I remember. We walked out.
And then when we walked out, she's like, that was a 3. When she came out, she's like, that's a 3. And then when we watched that Freelance, she was like, that's a 3.5. Okay. She bumped it up. So.
It's honestly, as you think about it, it's like, oh, that was a pretty good movie.
If you do,
you think about it a little more, it's cinematography. Like
you don't know where it's going, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
nice. True. Yeah, that's solid.
Okay, cool. Okay, here we go. Number 5.
The top half.
Guys, you are gonna be mad at me.
Ooh,
okay.
I'm surprised.
My number 5 is Oppenheimer.
Okay. Ooh, so interesting.
I like this movie. The soundtrack was good.
Yeah, that's fair.
And acting was incredible. The way it built up over the course of the movie with the soundtrack and the intensity of the acting and everything was so good. But to be honest, the dialogue. So the dialogue was so fast at points. I barely could keep up, and that's my problem. That's my problem. But like it was hard to keep up with the story and to catch everything. And I've only seen it once, so maybe I need to rewatch it. And it was very long.
Very long.
Yep.
And there were some I thought there were some unnecessary scenes too of like nudity that didn't really have to be there. It didn't add to the story. And usually Nolan will only include scenes that really add to the story. And maybe, I know there's people who would defend those scenes and be like, oh, it shows like what kind of man he was and stuff. But like still, I thought they could have maybe done it a different way. But yeah, I still thought it was really solid. So definitely number 5. But yeah, not in my top 3 or anything. But that's still really good.
Yeah. Fair enough, young James.
There we go.
All right. So this one's I was back and forth with pretty much like the next 3.
Okay.
But Godzilla -1.
Ooh.
So this one I think was a surprise to all of us. We had no idea what to expect. Oh boy, have I irritated someone?
No.
Yes. So I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite as emotionally attached to the characters as I think others were. But it was incredible. Like the CGI was so well done that you're like, holy cow! You don't notice the sheen of like it was. I don't know how to say it, but it was earthy. It was like film grain. It felt really naturally ingrained in the landscape.
It didn't have that glossy feel of the US made Godzilla movies. Like, because that always had that CGI glossy look, and it was always in like, I don't know, it was always in like New York City or in the cities. And it was just basic. They've done this before.
This breaks into my 4 out of 5s.
Yep.
Loved it, and the soundtrack was amazing. Sound was amazing. Visuals were great. I thought the characters were pretty good, but it was just not quite as engrossing as I thought in terms of the drama. But I mean, for a Godzilla movie, I thought it was the best one that I've seen.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'll say too. I went into that movie expecting to not like it.
Yeah,
I didn't really look at reviews at all because it's like I was just like, oh, this is overhyped.
Yeah,
and then I went in there and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. So
it was earnest,
totally
and it's a Godzilla movie. Like
Yeah.
the movie is trying to be earnest and like
I know.
straight, like
Yeah.
not necessarily to have fun per se.
Yeah.
And Godzilla was terrifying.
And that's what was so
Truly
cool is that it wasn't about necessarily Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which was the main thing.
Yeah.
That's why it was so good.
Yeah,
Okay,
really
I think this is the first time in this list that my number 5 is the same as Oppenheimer.
Yeah, we agreed on
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow!
I don't think we've had have we had a duplicate yet?
Not at this
No.
point. Usually we have way more.
We
so
have
this is
way
interesting.
more duplicates.
We usually agree on a lot of Western movies.
Ben, did you unplug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Back. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
we go.
makes sense.
Yeah,
So
so
when
that's
Isaac
that,
said
yeah.
everything that I agree with,
Okay.
so number 4.
Okay. Number 4 for me is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this movie.
Yep. Yep.
I thought it was such a good history lesson too, and done in a very a very entertaining way. How Scorsese portrayed the characters and how the story progressed and stuff. I thought it was just done really well. And I could relate to one of the characters because she had diabetes. So
That's a double,
I related.
Not
So
that
it's
your husband was slowly poisoning you.
no.
Not that far.
But I thought it kept me invested throughout the movie, even though it was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this is kind of crazy to say, but I was more invested in this movie than I was in Oppenheimer.
Well, that's why you rated it higher.
Well, yeah, I know.
Makes sense. That would make sense.
Oh, surprise!
I don't think it's that surprising.
But in general, I guess that might be a surprise
Yeah.
because I know for the ratings, it's kind of flipped where people were more. The general audience, I think, was more invested in Oppenheimer than Flower Moon. But
I
who
think
knows?
slightly.
It
They're
seems
both
kind.
highly
It seemed
rated.
kind of like that. But But yeah. So overall, I thought, and the acting was so good by everybody in the film. I mean, Robert De Niro, but especially Lily Gladstone, Leonardo. All of them were great. So yeah. Anyway, I won't say too much more because we're running out of time here. But really, really good.
Benny boy.
So my number 4, and this is back and forth with Godzilla, was John Wick. So I really liked that one.
Wow.
It was a suitable ending, and by really liked, I mean 4 out of 5. So it wasn't incredible. Again, that's 20.
Ben always brings us down.
I have to say because
he's like, I really love it. Like,
misconstrued.
yes, and he's like, no.
It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. I thought it just really hit on a visual and from the sound perspective. I think it hit.
That's really good. Yeah, I got to give it another rewatch because I feel like I rated it low.
I think the cinematography also is what stands out. It was super. It was very well done.
Yeah.
And even though the story wasn't much, it ended, I thought, the way it should have ended, which that's something that can't be said about a lot of these
right.
franchises.
A lot of
I
times, studios don't know when to end a franchise.
They ended
is
it
why
fine.
And
I like that.
They were just like,
Literally, that gets
boom,
that gets a lot of credit just there.
Amen.
Just-
Okay, my number 4 is Godzilla -1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Cheeky boy. Yep. Same reasons apply.
yeah. Fair
Number
enough.
3.
There we go. Okay. I like it. You're like, same reason.
Well, I mean, we're
That's a
getting to
good
that point of repetition now.
Okay, so my number 3 was Barbie. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
We all had a lot of fun.
We were laughing throughout the film. Like
that was a
I
great
were, for sure.
experience.
We were giggling like
Ryan
schoolgirls.
Gosling. Yeah, Ryan Gosling was so great. Margot Robbie was hilarious. They were both amazing together in that film. Oh, and and there were a lot of improv scenes too with Ryan Gosling, and that was. I just thought there were some really, really fun scenes. I love the musical number that happens near the end. I thought overall it was super entertaining throughout, and I thought you have to watch till the end because the message at the end is really solid.
Really good.
And if so you do have you got to watch all the way through it. If you're not enjoying the start, you still might enjoy the end of it because of the message at the end. So that one, I highly recommend seeing that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So
All right, and number 3, Killers of the Flower Moon for me.
Okay.
I mean, what has been said has been said.
What has been said.
But really, really good movie, and I just was especially appreciated the script and the acting because none of the other 2023 movies, except for one, I think can really compare to the acting that was displayed on the screen. And so I thought it was really well done. 3 hours did not seem like 3 hours necessarily.
It went by so fast.
It was a tragedy. It was so you knew what was going to happen, and you were wondering, is there any way to get out? It was such a good movie.
I totally agree.
And had no knowledge of anything in terms of historical context.
I know.
Before,
So we learned a lot by watching.
Ben, also my number 3.
Oh.
So there you go. Last thing I'll add on that is just from a retention perspective, being a 3-hour movie, it felt like it was not 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is why I liked it so much.
Incredible. Yeah.
So
Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Isaac, number 2.
Okay, my
right.
number 2 is Godzilla -1.
Okay.
So, man, I really love this movie. Yeah, we've already talked about it. I was surprised just like you guys were. And the soundtrack, amazing. I love the story. Like, the story part of it was my favorite part because I thought it was so interesting how he had to take care of that little kid and how that was just a very unique story, and I've never seen that in a Godzilla movie. Yeah. And like how he had to find a reason to live, and it was really, really fascinating. And in the ending scene where he chooses to live, it's just like, wow, that was really powerful because he's a kamikaze fighter or whatever it's called, and so normally it's like that his goal is to not live, but like he found a reason to live. And I thought it was like, wow, in a Godzilla movie, that kind of message that kind of good message of like finding your purpose in life and stuff. I thought it was done so well. It was so much more than just like a monster attacking. It was like, whoa, there's so much more to this.
Totally.
And I also loved the sequences where they were like planning to attack Godzilla. Like that was so well done because like they came out with these really cool like creative ideas to try to kill him, and then you see near the end it's like, oh, these aren't working. And like, so it's powerful in that it's not like it's not a cookie cutter movie. It's like, okay, this happens, then this happens, and oh, Godzilla's dead. But like their plans weren't working, so they had to like go to plan B instead of plan A. So it was, or plan C, Actually, it was like plan C, But yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay, Oppenheimer is my number 2.
Ooh!
So this is, I think, we all agreed that it was a good movie, right? But the key difference is I was more engaged, I think, throughout the entire movie because it is 3 hours as well. So you have to be engaged to actually consider it like really, really well done movie. But I thought the acting was incredible. Cillian Murphy? Cillian Murphy. Amazing. Like, I really, really, his performance was incredible. I thought the way that Nolan basically intertwined different storylines, and also even the last hour, which could be considered kind of a really big lag in terms of the storyline. I thought it was still interesting enough. It was totally different. It was outside of kind of the main progression, but I thought it was interesting enough that I was engaged. And I know some people weren't, and that's where it broke from.
that is kind of where I wasn't.
But individual scenes were so impactful. I thought, like, obviously the detonation and like the testing sequences and especially his dream sequences where the weight of what he's doing is coming back to him. There's the one scene in the barn with all the people like just chanting and basically pounding their feet against the floor, and it's so intense, and he's just seeing the ashes of visualizing the devastation that it could be. I thought it was the most impactful movie that I saw this year. So that's why it's my number 2.
Okay.
Nolan did a great job.
There you go.
Yep.
My
your 2?
Number 2. I realize now, thinking about I definitely pissed you guys off, didn't I, with my one rating of a particular movie?
Yeah, specifically.
So, my number 2 is Barbie!
Yep, I was wondering.
Oh, yes! There you go!
You had a great...
Did you listen to the Christmas edition of I'm Just Ken?
Of course I did.
Wasn't that amazing, that video?
Yeah.
I
did
did not see
I'm Just
that.
Pete?
No.
Oh, see?
Oh, you got me! You get a step ahead of me here.
There's a comedian, Pete Davidson. What's his name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
The guy that's dated like everybody.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
probably.
he's like, I'm just Pete. And he's a song on SNL. It's hilarious.
But
yeah,
it's a cultural
Soundtrack is
phenomenon.
so
So that's my number 2?
Okay, there we go.
Your number
Okay,
1.
my number
and Ben
1.
Probably 2? I don't know.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
How about you do yours both at the same time?
So,
Sure.
oh boy. Okay. My
Yeah.
number 1 is
Spider-Man. Yeah.
I knew it.
I didn't think Ben would.
Because you guys both didn't rate it. You guys both didn't rate it.
Yeah, you're
What?
right. Ben didn't have it until.
Well, you guys both hadn't rated it in your list, so I was
Yeah.
like, "There's no way."
You're like, wait.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
That's
you
why I
were
figured
wondering when it would pop in.
Yeah.
I think like the main reason why this is number 1 is I've seen this like I think 4 times, and
What?
every
I've seen it a
time
lot.
I've it's just like watching it for the first time. Every
Wow.
time. There's so many jokes and little hints at all the different comic styles, the animation style. You could every time you watch it, you can find something new to like in the background or like the way that like the animators did an incredible job. And yeah, this blew me away. Like we saw a pre-screening of it, and when I got out of the movie, I'm like, this is gonna be like a 9 on IMDb, and it was for a while. I think it's 8.9 right now.
Sure.
But like after I saw it, it was cool seeing a pre-screen of it because it's like. You know that this is gonna like hit really well with the general audience, and so I just love the plot. I wasn't expecting anything from this film really before seeing it, and like it just blew me away. Animation was like it won up the first one. Like it was so good, so many different styles. Gwen's world, like every all the Spider-Man or like Spider-Man India, his world was so cool. And they really did well with introducing all these new Spider-Men and still giving them enough dialogue to make them interesting. Right. It wasn't just like, there were a lot of cameos, but like the main ones, like they really developed their personalities, even though they were like in it for maybe like 10-15 minutes probably for some of the Spider-Man characters. But like Spider-Man India, I loved him, and like he didn't have a ton of lines of dialogue, but the ones he did have just hit home, and it's like this is so great. And so
Lego Spider-Man.
Yeah,
can't forget
yes,
that one.
Lego. Oh my gosh, by a
So
14-year-old kid on YouTube. He's he's popular on YouTube now because of that scene.
For sure, and I'm sure he's going to get a lot of work
on
other stuff for sure.
But yeah, overall really good, and I thought the plot was really good. And I know you didn't like how it ended, but I actually was like, when it ended, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. It's like it's funny. There's 2 reactions: you either hate it or you're like, wow, that's a good cliffhanger. So it's like it really depends on.
You're either frustrated or you're like, well, I can't wait till the next one.
Yep.
But
I was just like, okay, I'm so excited for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was pushed back, but I think I don't know if they have a date for it yet. I'm hoping this year sometime.
Hopefully,
because I know they had a lot of the animation done, but they didn't have a lot of the dialogue and the audio for it yet.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I don't know. Cool. We'll see when it is. But yep, that's my number 1. I really love that movie.
Yeah, I won't belabor the point either.
Yep.
I mean, number 1, also, I saw it 3 or 4 times. Can't remember how many times, but each time it was fantastic.
Yep.
New people loved it.
Yeah.
Every time I watched it with a new person. So it was really, really fantastic. Calling out, though, the dialogue, though. The relationship between Spider-Man and his parents, so relatable and so well done. Yeah. I thought the dialogue just really stood out in an animation movie. That's not always the case. And then also like the talent that was on display for animation was just
incredible.
out of this world. It was just incredible.
Yeah, and
so that's my only 4.5 out of 5.
That's
this
a
year.
5 for me.
I know it's definitely a 5 for you. I'm so incredibly strict for 5 out of 5.
I know you.
But
I was like, I've loosened the belt.
Yeah, I have. But I did want to
mention
mention one other thing. The soundtrack was so good.
Oh, yeah,
that it's some of the songs are on like in the top 5 for my most listened to songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
That's big.
For like hitting the top 5 for a soundtrack too. But the music was great. They always have good music in this.
Yeah. So that's that.
I like it.
Yeah. So there's our top 10.
Yeah.
Should we quick move on to our?
Do you want to know what my number one was?
Yeah. Hold on. Michael's number 1.
Sorry, I thought
I was a little confused. I was like, wait, what?
What was my number 1?
Shoot, now I gotta do
that. My number 1 was Asteroid City.
Wait, did we watch that together?
Cut!
No way! I mentioned that in my honorable mentions. Wes Anderson. Hold on. You need to explain yourself. And also, I thought we watched that with you. Didn't we watch that?
I wish we just skipped your number 1.
No, we didn't.
We
so
never
we didn't
saw
see
it
your
together.
reaction.
I saw your rating for it, and I was like, whoa, they did not like it.
We didn't see that together?
I thought we
I
did.
think we did.
That sounds like a movie we would see.
Wait,
together,
I think we did, because we went to the Alamo. I thought we went to the Alamo with you.
I love that movie.
I know, I knew you
liked
did.
It. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But, like, I didn't know you loved it that
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's
Tell us
crazy?
more. Tell us more.
I liked how cinematography, like how just cool the different sets were, and like
Wes Anderson
how
sets.
wild it was, animation. I thought given the times, I think it's a really pressing movie. And honestly, the soundtrack was in my Spotify as well.
There we go.
So I really like the soundtrack of that
Wow,
one.
that is out of left field. That is, we had no idea.
Check out the soundtrack. It's like Freight Train.
Oh, yeah.
It's just got like fun, like it's very whimsical, which I like.
Yeah.
So
well, Wes Anderson, in terms of style, like Wes Anderson is on point.
I just like his styling. I don't know. It was just kind of a feel good movie.
Wow.
I know.
The
I know you guys are
animation,
gonna...
when you said animation, I've seen like the stop motion they did for some of the bird, like the bird.
The bird and stuff,
that was really, really
What did you
cool.
rate it?
4.
Okay.
Nothing really made anything higher than that for me.
Okay, interesting.
So maybe I've just lost my soul this year, but
no.
Wow,
I did not
it's your
expect
list,
that.
your opinion.
I knew it was going to be a different year.
That was
what did
definitely
Sadie,
a different
think,
year.
Just out of what did she think was her favorite movie of the year? Did you ever talk about it, or like?
I could ask her. I don't
That'd
actually
be
know.
Interesting to know.
I think I know it would be Barbie.
It would be Barbie.
Oh, really?
She
Okay.
would like Barbie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, we had a blast. That was a fun.
Yeah,
one.
that was
fun
so
movie,
fun watching.
We liked it too.
Wow.
Right,
Okay.
Wow. Do we want to wrap up? All right.
So let's see.
I didn't
We
even
could
prepare
do.
for
Let's do it.
anticipated, but
If let's see. Let's do favorite TV show of 2023. This can be really quick.
what did I
If you guys if you don't have one, that's fine. I just
Is that what we're going to wrap up on?
No, and then we have most anticipated.
Okay.
I have one for that. Just one for each. It'll be really quick. My favorite TV show season, I should say, TV show season of 2023 was the last season of Succession.
Okay.
That was really good. It ended on a really crazy note. It was super intense all the way through. The funeral and like the
death, the mid-game death was great.
It was such a twist. So good.
I'm gonna also say that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Ben?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's our favorite.
That was.
What's your most anticipated movie?
So this was kind of tough because there's not a lot of good movies coming out this year. At least they haven't been announced yet. Because because of the writer's strike, the actor's strike. It's like a buffer now, and probably 2025 is when we'll get some really good movies.
So many.
But one that stood out was there's a Lord of the Rings movie coming out. Animated.
Yep.
It's called War of the Rohirrim.
I believe anime.
It might be. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe it is. That one seems really interesting. I think they could make it good. So I'm excited. It sounds fun. But yeah, like other than that, I mean, I have two others on here, but I'll only do one. But like, it's usually I'll have like 5 or 6 that I'm excited for.
I know.
But I don't know. I couldn't find any that.
Ben, you got anything?
Really cool.
I mean, I didn't really prepare for this, but Dune is not coming out this year.
It is coming out this year.
Is
Yep,
it?
it
Okay,
is.
so it'd be Dune probably,
yep.
or the. Yeah, I was gonna say the Mad Max movie because I love the first one, but it didn't look amazing to me. But Dune probably.
Well, Anya Taylor-Joy is kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah, she's in a lot of. She's the it girl now, and so she's in a lot of movies.
Yeah. So I don't have a movie, but I do have a game that I want myself to play.
Oh,
and I think Isaac will play it. I don't think Ben will play it.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I started playing it today.
Wait,
video game.
Is this?
Oh.
And Isaac, you need to give it a chance.
Oh,
We can play it together.
Okay.
On a server. It's Lego Fortnite.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
That's where we should end it.
That's a thing.
Dude, it's so fun.
Wait,
it's a separate game from Fortnite?
Here's the downside. You have to download Fortnite.
Okay.
But
on your computer? Oh.
Yeah. But it's Lego Fortnite, and really, you know what it is? It's Minecraft.
That's what
it's Lego Minecraft.
But
it's not Fortnite. You spawn in a map. It's your map, and you mine.
Wait, it's not Fortnite? You don't even attack other.
No.
What?
You can play with up to 4 other people. It can be anywhere in the world. Wow. So Mandy and I were playing it.
Yeah.
Lego Fortnite.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know that was a
have
thing.
to try that out. I heard about that.
Play it on the
and
Switch.
I'm like, wait, really?
You play it on your computer. Yeah, man.
Holy crap!
Can you connect from? Wait, do you have it on your Switch or your?
I have my computer. You can connect.
But you can
Switch.
connect between consoles.
Dude, it's all inter.
Wow,
that
I
sounds
should check that out.
Right up
I
your
was
alley,
not expecting.
I know. And here's the thing: Mandy had to sell me on it because I was like, "No, it's Fortnite." I don't. And she's "Michael, it's not Fortnite." And I was like, "Okay." And it's not.
You guys love Minecraft, so absolutely.
And Lego.
Crafting. Yeah,
and Lego. Even have Fortnite in the name.
That sounds amazing.
Because I think it was just to get more people into the game.
Yeah.
It's not Fortnite. It's not at all. You literally find NPCs. You make your own village. You construct resources.
What?
That's crazy.
All right.
That's wild. Okay. That's
that.
Thanks for joining us.
That's the end of the top 10 movies. Lego Fortnite.
Lego Fortnite. I didn't know. I did not expect that. Woo!